You got to pour into yourself before you can pour into anybody else, man. Relationship wise, friendship wise, anything. You have to pour into you. You have to make sure you're okay. And you have to make sure you have the things you need and you want before you can pour into somebody else and put that energy into somebody else. And I learned this the hard way. I've learned this multiple times. I've had to relearn this because I have a big heart. And I know there's a lot of people out there that have a big heart and just want to be there for people and help people, support people. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just our nature. But there's people out there that'll use that and just use your big heart and just, you know what I'm saying, like take advantage of you basically. And when they don't need you anymore, they're gonna end up leaving you. And I've learned that before. I've been there before. I've done that. Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you don't have yourself first, and if you don't pour into yourself first before you pour into other people, that's just putting you at a disadvantage. Like, you gotta have yourself first before you can be there for other people. You gotta take time to learn yourself. You gotta take time to learn the things you love and want to do. You gotta take time to learn your dreams and your goals and your aspirations before you can even think about pouring into somebody else. And when you're pouring so much into somebody else before even thinking about yourself, like, you kind of lose sight of your dreams and your aspirations. Like, I've been there before too. I was so wrapped up in somebody else and being there for somebody else that my dreams and my aspirations like kind of slipped my mind. Like, I wasn't worried about that at the moment. I was just so worried about being there for that person and being there for this person, um, helping them and supporting them with their dreams and their goals, that I really was never worried about mine. Like, I never really poured into myself before that. And when those people left me, like, I really felt like I didn't know who I was anymore. I really felt like I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, what to do or where to go after that. And that's hard. Like, it's hard to do that, and it's hard to start over. And that's why I'm saying, like, you got to pour into yourself first. Like, first, before anybody else, you got to have yourself. You gotta know the things you like. You gotta know the things you want in life, and like, that list can go on and on. But just make sure you're pouring into yourself before you can pour into somebody else. And just constantly pouring into people, man. I know that it's gonna leave you emotionally, mentally, and physically drained. Like, I'm sure y'all been there before, especially the people out there with a big heart. Like, I know y'all been there before. When you're constantly pouring into somebody and giving that energy to somebody, and that energy is not being reciprocated, like, it's hard. Like, you may not realize it in a moment, but when that person walks out of your life, you're gonna see like you was being used. They were using you. Um, and just constantly pouring into somebody who's not pouring into you just really puts them at an advantage to hurt you. And I'm speaking for this firsthand too. Like, I've experienced that. You're out here stretching yourself thin for that person. You're out here pouring all this energy and putting all this time into this person and stuff like that. And you realize that energy is not being reciprocated. And now you realize, like, that person's just using you. Cause, like, that person needs you, you're there for them. But when you need that person, they ain't gonna be there for you. I've been there, I've seen that. Like, it's that's what's gonna happen. And you're really not gonna realize that early if you're not pouring into yourself. But if you're pouring into yourself, like, and you meet this new person, like, you're gonna be self-aware. You're gonna see those things. You're gonna see this time not being reciprocated, and that's when you got to make the decision. Just let that person go, because you constantly pouring into somebody that's not pouring into you is only gonna leave you hurt. Because they're gonna use you. They're gonna use that big heart you got. As soon as they don't need you anymore, peace out. Like, they're gonna be gone. They're just gonna use you, and use you until they don't need you anymore. And that's only gonna hurt you. And that's what I'm telling you. Like, you gotta pour into yourself first. You gotta have you first. Because when that person does end up leaving, if they're just using you and stuff like that, then you'll be okay. Like, you don't need that person. They might have needed you, but you didn't need that person. You had yourself. You had yourself the whole time. And when they left, you still got yourself. Just take time to pour into yourself, whether you're in a relationship or in a friendship. Just make sure you're prioritizing yourself while also pouring into that person. And once you prioritize yourself first, then you can, like, yeah, I'm gonna pour into this person a little bit, or this person, or this person. But still make sure during that time you're still pouring into yourself. And if at any instant you see that person not giving you that same energy, you see that person not, you know what I'm saying, reciprocating what you're giving them, they gotta go. Simple as that. You gotta do what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? If that person's not giving you the same energy, why continue to be there for them? Because in the long run, they're only going to end up hurting you. They're only going to end up abandoning you. They're only going to end up leaving you. You know what I'm saying? And if you point to yourself, you'll realize that fast. But if you don't, you're going to be blind to it. Because I've been blind to it. I was blind to it a lot of times. It happened to me a lot of times. I was blind to it. And I ended up being hurt by that. I ended up being abandoned. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want y'all to go through that either. So just make sure you have yourself first. And if that person is not pouring into you, they just gotta go. Simple as that. You got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's right for you. You got to save your time and your energy and pour that into yourself. And then pouring into yourself, it really helps you be there better and show up better for other people, for your friends. For if you do end up getting in that relationship, it helps you show up for that person better because you have a better understanding of things. You know what you want, you know what you need. You'll be more emotionally intelligent, and like that list goes on too. It helps you be more patient. Like there's a bunch of benefits of making sure you're okay first. And that's not pouring in yourself is not being selfish. Because like if you don't have yourself, then who gonna have you? You know what I'm saying? If you don't got you, then when you do end up being abandoned, or you do end up being by yourself, like what are you gonna do if you don't got yourself first? So don't view this as being selfish, or don't view this as being like self-centered or anything like that. Like you have to prioritize yourself. You have to put your mental health, your physical health, emotional health, you know what I'm saying? And whatever comes with you, like you gotta put them things first. You have to. Because like I said earlier, you can't pour from an empty cup. And when you try to pour from an empty cup, that's how you get hurt. That's how you get used. You know what I'm saying? And you can't do that. You don't want to go through that. And pouring in yourself, like that could be going to the gym. That could be eating better. That could be growing wisdom with books. That could be, you know what I'm saying, going to sleep earlier and getting enough sleep at night. And simply just doing things you love. Like don't be scared to go out by yourself. Go out by yourself. Go grab a bite to eat by yourself and just sit with yourself and just, you know what I'm saying, learn yourself. Learn the things you love. Learn the things you love to do. You can learn so much about yourself just by going on what they call a solo date. Go to the movies, you know what I'm saying? Go grab a bite to eat. Go do whatever you want to do by yourself and just learn to love yourself. Learn yourself. Learn the things you like to do. Just learn to love yourself and learn to pour into yourself by going on those solo dates. And read. There's a lot of strength in reading the book too. Like since I've been on this journey of just focusing on me and doing the things I like and stuff like that, I've started reading books, and there's so much you can learn from a book. There's so much wisdom just in a book. So go. I advise y'all to go read some books too. Like there's so much stuff you can learn from a book. And then this also helps you figure out what you want in other people, because you're learning yourself. So you're learning what you want and what you need, the things you want and the things you need in other people. You learn to say no to other people without feeling guilty, because like you're protecting your time and energy. So if this person wants something, you're fine with saying no to them, because you know that time and energy that you're going to give to them is not beneficial to you. And people with the big hearts, like we always say yes to people. We always there for people. We always supporting people. Like it's hard to say no for us. And just pouring in yourself and, you know what I'm saying, taking time to learn you and just be with yourself, it helps you say no to people without feeling that guilt or that shame for not helping that person, because all in all, you just protecting your time and you protecting your energy. And like I said, like it's not selfish to focus on you. It's not selfish to spend time with yourself and just be there for yourself. It's necessary in this world. It's necessary in this world if you want to become the best version of yourself. Like you gotta sit with yourself sometimes. You gotta focus on you sometimes. You just gotta be there for you sometimes. Them other people can wait. They can go pour into their self too. You know what I'm saying? You don't always gotta pour into that person. They can do their things on their own too. And it just helps you be the best version of you for yourself, and it helps you be the best version of you for other people that may come into your life down the road. And just start with you before anybody or anything else. Start with you. Make sure you're okay before you make sure anybody else is okay. They always tell y'all that when you're on the plane. Like, make sure you're okay. Make sure you're safe before you make sure that person's safe, or before you make sure that person's okay. They'll be okay. They can spend time with themselves, and you got to do the same thing. And I promise you, it's the best investment you'll ever make in your life, ever. Just being with yourself and spending time with yourself is the best thing you can do for you. It helps you be the best version of yourself. It helps you focus, helps you lock in. You know what I'm saying? It just helps you be you. It helps you become the best version of you. Just take that time to make sure you're okay. Take that time to yourself whenever you need it. Whether you're in a relationship, not in a relationship, in a friendship, not in a friendship, whenever you need it, just make sure you prioritize yourself and take that time to yourself. And that's gonna wrap up today's video, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button below. If you have not subbed up yet, man, go ahead and hit that sub button. We're on the way to 100 subscribers. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all in the next one.